I'm here this morning with Dr. Dawn Buckingham, and you have decided to run for Senate District 24. Introduce yourself to my audience. What kind of background, what profession have you been in? Give us a little info on you.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking time to meet with me. I'm Dawn Buckingham, candidate for Senate District 24, and I'm a practicing ophthalmologist. We have offices in Austin and in Marble Falls.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm running to decrease the footprint of government we feel in our everyday lives. You know, as a mom, when I look at the world that our kids are inheriting, it is shocking and frightening, and I think we need to stand up and fight for their futures. And then as a physician, I took an oath to do the very best thing possible for my patients, and every day the government interferes in my ability to do that because the government thinks they know what's best for the patients and they want to usurp what the doctor thinks. And I've just had enough, and then it make it difficult to take care of my patients, but also even more difficult to run my small business. So just a little extra background. I've been married to my husband for 24 years. We have a senior in high school and a sophomore in high school.
Fun.
I served on the Lake Travis ISD school board and additionally hold a gubernatorial appointment to the State Board of Educators certification. I also, just kind of some other interesting things, used to be a volunteer firefighter and graduated from the A&M Fire School. But I also graduated from UT for my undergraduate degree. But to graduate from college, I had to live at home and work 2 jobs to be able to put myself through college, and did that without any debt. And I always say I was just sort of born debt averse. Even when I was 18, I was looking at that and trying to figure out ways to get my education without incurring debt. And the people who've known me for a long time will tell you that I have a long history of standing up for what's right when that's not the easy thing to do.
True.
When I was in middle school, we had female preachers, but we didn't have any female acolytes in our Episcopal church. And I stood up and became the first female acolyte in the diocese. And then, you know, many other stories. But then recently I was quoted in Bloomberg News as saying that Obamacare would bring about the complete downfall of the healthcare system.
Wow.
And shortly after that, within about 2 weeks, and I'm sure it's completely unrelated, but a series of RAC audits were started against me. And I survived not one of these audits, but 4 of these audits.
Oh,
and so
my.
Yes ma'am, and I know what it's like to speak the truth, and I know what it's like to pay the price for that and have people come after you for it. But I will continue to do it, and that is my promise to everybody, because that is what I think we need from our elected officials. Also have a proven record of cutting government. I was Lieutenant Governor's appointee to the Sunset Commission. I voted to eliminate 8 out of the 25 state agencies that we looked at and identified over $120 million in savings to the taxpayers.
Wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. So I have sat in the 17-hour hearings. I have heard how everyone needs to be special and carved out, and I have taken those hard votes to still do what's best for the taxpayer as well as the people that those state agencies served.
So it sounds like you have a lot of diversification. You've been in the political arena, you've served in the educational capacity, and your background is in the medical field, and a firefighter. So you have a lot of diversification there. I like that. I like that.
Well, thank you. And in this race, you know, we're talking about how we have got to seal our border. We need complete operational control of our border, and we need to get rid of the lures such as the sanctuary cities that draw people here. I believe that family and education are the cornerstones of our society, and I think they're under attack and they're crumbling, and so we will fight for traditional family values and empower parents in their children's education, and of course protect the unborn. And then I joke that we need to put government on a diet.
Most people probably won't find that funny because they think so too. They're right with you.
Exactly. And you know, I just think we have a spending problem, not a revenue problem. And I think that there are ways to identify ways to cross the system and save taxpayers some of their precious dollars.
Are there any particular committees that you would like to serve on to further that interest of yours?
Absolutely. Well, most senators sit on about 5 committees, and so there are lots of options. But my main interests within the Senate are actually water and power. And those are very central issues to the district as well, and something that I'm still learning a ton about because they're very complicated issues. And I just look forward to serving in the Senate, of course at the discretion of the Lieutenant Governor and whatever committees that he wants to put me on.
True.
And we plan on working hard on all of our committees and doing great things for the citizens of Texas.
You have an interesting district because you yours is drawn very creatively to go from basically kind of somewhere along the Austin line all the way up to a little finger reaching over and grabbing Abilene out in West Texas. So that's quite a few counties and areas to go out and travel. So you must be on the road a lot now.
I kind of think this is the campaign of shoe leather and truck tires. So yes, ma'am, we have already put tens of thousands of miles on my truck. And we're just out there meeting everybody. It is 17 counties, it is 20,000 square miles, and we are out there to meet everybody we can possibly meet. We've already knocked on thousands of doors across the district, and we'll have a very aggressive grassroots campaign so that we can reach as many of the primary voters as possible so that they can know us.
How many people are in the race at this time that you're aware of?
So right now we have 7 people who've filed treasurer reports.
I thought that there was quite a few in your area or in your district and all. So that'll be interesting. Sounds like a potential that initially y'all will probably fall into a runoff type situation.
Sure, you always hope you're going to win it outright, but we're probably planning on
all things are possible, right?
They are, through God, yes ma'am.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You mentioned several different areas that have your interest, dealing with family and all. Are there any particular issues? You mentioned the border, but what other particular issues are really a heartfelt passion of yours?
Well, education, and we have a long way to go in education. We have some schools that are doing great jobs, and we have some schools that are not doing great jobs. And I'm very excited to see the Lieutenant Governor on the interim charges put education as one of them to just try and see what's working in other states, what's not working in other states, what might work in Texas for our students. Because I think God calls parents to educate their children. It's one of the highest callings of a parent, and we need to help the parents do that. Yeah. And additionally, for our state, that's our future workforce and our ability to compete in future markets.
Do you believe in the diversification of the choice for parents between public and charter and private?
I do.
Yeah. What other areas?
Well, there's so many. I mean, water is clearly going to be a huge
issue
in
Texas.
For us, and there are many issues. That's individual property owners' rights issues. We're seeing the EPA and TCEQ get involved in places that I don't think they should be involved in. We've got, with water comes power with all the hydroelectric, and LCRA does transmission for over 90% of the state. So we have a very complex system of water and power that is going to be challenging as time passes unless it starts raining a whole lot more.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think most all of Texas enjoyed some very refreshing rains. Well, it seems like it's been long enough. We need more now.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else in particular that you would like to share?
I just want everybody to know that truly feel called by God to run for the Senate, and it really comes out of a deep, heartfelt concern for the way that our country is headed, and have been active for a very long time, working hard in Travis County to get conservative justices elected, to get the first Republicans elected in our county in the last few years, to get the city council into single member districts, and then to elect 3 conservatives to the Austin City Council.
Wonderful.
And while I don't live in Austin, my practice is in Austin, and so the Austin politics affect it. And so I understand what it's like to be on the front lines. Haven't made perfect decisions all the way through, but I've learned from the mistakes that I've made in some of those, and really understand what it's like to fight, and really feel like we're fighting for the heart and soul, not only of our party, but of our state and our country as well. And I'm ready to fight.
If there was a meter going from very conservative to moderate to more liberal, where would you put yourself on that meter, with moderate being at a 5 and liberal being a 10 and conservative is 0?
I hate to say I'm at 0.
Well, let's flip it. Let's make that a 10 then and liberal a 0. That might be a better way to number that.
Definitely a 10.
All right. So I have been talking to a 10.
I know.
Reminds me of the movie.
I know, but we had to go Derek Graves. It would be better.
Oh, we haven't seen that in a long time now. Dr. Buckingham, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today. Wish you all the best with your campaign, and do stay in touch with us so we can get more information out about what's going on in your campaign as the days roll on. You've got another 4 months of being very busy out there meeting lots of people.
That's exactly right. Thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure to speak with you.
I appreciate it. Thanks.